All right, so this video today is going to deal with setting up your watercolor paper for your sunglasses painting. And what we're going to do today is we are going to really get our measurements down so that it looks nice, so that we have even measurements, spacing between our three, between the middle of them and the top, and then the sides of them. What I want you to do is I want you to pick up your paper and I want you to look and see what side is more bumpy. You probably can't tell from the camera, but if I look at both sides, I can tell that this side, the bumps are less, but they also aren't as indented. So if I flip it this way, and I have to hold my paper at an angle to see it. If I hold it straight, I can't really see those bumps. So if I hold it, even if I bend it a little bit or hold it to the side, I can see that these bumps, there's more of them, but they also are indented in the paper. The reason why we want to work on the more bumpy side, all right? So we want to work on the side that has more bumps or more indents. What that does is it helps the water to sort of sit on top of the paper a little bit. It also helps for when we blend, those bumps will help let our water flow a little bit more. So we wanna make sure we use the bumpy side. When you get your paper, you may have little spots on them. Try to erase them if you can. If some of the spots don't come off, they may go where your painting is, so it's not a big deal. Like that little spot, I'm just gonna leave, because I bet you if I'm looking here, my sunglasses are gonna cover it. What we're gonna do first is we are gonna create a box so that we have a border for our colored pencils, for our sunglasses to go. Sorry, my brain's everywhere. So I'm gonna grab a ruler. Yes, you need a ruler. And I'm gonna start at the top and I'm gonna work my way to the bottom. So if I have it here, I'm gonna line it up as evenly as possible on both sides. And I wanna go 1 inch in from each side. So I'm gonna mark it at 1 right now, and I'm gonna go to 9 and go 1 inch in, which is 8. And I'm gonna move it down a little bit. I'm gonna do the same thing. Mark 1 and mark 8. I'm gonna do, we'll do it 2 more times. So I know some people like to just mark the top and the bottom, but I always like to do a couple more just to really double check myself. And to double check that I'm doing it like I've got my measurements correct. So I always like to do a couple more. So 1 and 8. All right, and then I'm gonna rotate my paper so it's like this. And we're gonna do 1 inch from the sides as well. So I'm gonna put my ruler up here, and mine's 12 inches long. So I'm gonna go from in 1 inch and in to 11 inches. And I'm just gonna do 3 marks here. So 1 on the top, 1 in the middle, and 1 at the bottom. So again, in 1 inch, in to 11 inches, down here, in 1 inch, and in 11 inches. And from here, I'm gonna connect all my lines together. So I'm gonna go on this side and connect my top, my middle, and my bottom. And remember, this is just for our measurements, so we want to draw as lightly as possible, which may be hard for you to see on the video. Sorry, it's easier for me to see myself if I have it on this edge. So as light as you can get it, because we're going to be erasing these eventually. So if you do everything very dark, then it's going to be harder to erase, and we don't want that. So again, just sort of making sure everything's lined up, and do our last side here. All right, so now I have my border around here, okay? And then what we're gonna do is now we're gonna make our spaces for our sunglasses. I'm actually gonna turn my paper horizontally, so because I'm going to start measuring this way. Our sunglasses are going to be 3 inches, 3 inches, I guess, from the top to the bottom because it's separate, but 3 inches wide, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to where this corner is here, line up my ruler, make sure it's straight on the line that I have here, and I'm going to go to my 3 inch mark. I'm then gonna do that in the middle, because again, I really, especially with this, because I don't have a straight edge, I really wanna make sure my measurements are how they are supposed to be. All right, and then we're gonna take it and we're gonna draw a line. Okay, so there's one space for our sunglasses. Now we have to work on the spacing between our sunglasses, because if like one space is really little, one space really big down here, it's not gonna look good. So in between our sunglasses line is going to be a 1/2 inch. So again, lining it up with this edge on the bottom here, I'm gonna go a 1/2 inch. So if we look at 1 inch, it's right in the middle. It's the biggest line in the middle. So draw a line, go to the middle again. 1/2 inch, go to our edge over here. And I'm really taking my time to make sure that all of my measurements are correct, because if they aren't, then I'm gonna have to remeasure it, and that would be a bummer. So we have a 1/2 inch space in here, and now we're gonna do another 3 inch section. So lining our ruler up again, measuring out 3 inches, going to the middle, 3 inches, going up here, 3 inches, and then lining them up. All right, so we have 1 sunglasses, 2 sunglasses, and now we need to do another 1/2 inch section like this. So line it up on the line here, find our 1/2 inch in between the 1 and the 0. And now draw our line. And now we are set up to start painting our sunglasses. Now, you don't have to worry about erasing these lines just yet, because we'll do that at the very end. But we have our paper set and we're ready to go, and now we can start drawing our sunglasses on here.